It was 2:07 a.m. when I heard the notification ping. Not from my phone, from my laptop on the nightstand. I was half awake, fever burning through me, when I saw the alert. Withdrawal. $8,000. The bank app lit up like a flare in the dark. At first, I thought I was hallucinating. Then I saw the transaction details. The account wasn't my personal one, it was our joint emergency fund. But the card used was mine, and I knew exactly who had it. My wife's sister, Lila, had a talent for making chaos look innocent. She was 23, all charm and impulsive laughter, the kind of person who borrowed your jacket and forgot to return it. Her excuses always came wrapped in that same tone. "Oh, I didn't mean to, I swear." I tolerated her. For my wife. Because every time I mentioned Lila's behavior, my wife turned defensive, as if protecting a fragile part of herself. "She's just young," she'd say. "You're overreacting." So I stopped reacting. But I didn't stop observing. That night, I walked to the living room, feverish but awake now, wide awake. Lila's purse was on the couch, half open, her car keys glinting inside. And right beside them, my credit card, still warm from use. When I confronted her that morning, she didn't deny it, didn't even blink. "I just needed to borrow something. I'll pay you back," she said, brushing off a theft like it was a favor. My wife stood between us, angry, but not at her. "She's just a girl. You're overreacting." I stared at her, and something inside me went very still. "You're right," I said quietly. But the account she drained wasn't mine. She frowned, confused. And that was the moment the plan started writing itself in my head. See, I'd expected something like this months ago. Lila had a habit of testing limits. And I'd learned that the only way to deal with people like her was to give them rope, lots of it. 2 months earlier, I'd opened an auxiliary business account, in her name. A dummy account under my holding company used for small side transactions. She didn't know that, of course. She only knew she had access to it because I'd once helped her set up online payments for her little boutique idea. She never built that boutique, but she remembered the login, and I left it open. Bait, ready and waiting. Over the next few days, I acted sick, sicker than I was. Stayed in bed, fever or not, while Lila kept spending. I saw the transactions roll in one by one. Restaurants, spa bookings, designer handbags, each one documented, time-stamped, geo-located. I didn't say a word. I wanted her to dig deep. She withdrew $18,000 before she even looked nervous. When the calls from the bank started, I told them to freeze the dummy account and mark all outgoing transactions as suspicious activity linked to fraud. Lila's name was all over it. Her signature, her IP address, her card swipes, all under a legitimate business entity registered in her name. On paper, she had committed financial fraud against her own company. I had all the receipts. My wife begged me not to press charges. She cried, said Lila didn't know any better, that she was just desperate. I nodded, said I'd handle it privately. And I did. I called Lila over for dinner, just us three. She arrived in a new dress, the kind that said, "I got away with it." Dinner was calm, too calm. Halfway through, I excused myself to grab wine from the study. Instead, I brought my laptop, set it on the table. The bank statements glowed across the screen. Her name, her transactions, one by one, scrolling like evidence in a courtroom. "What is this?" my wife whispered. Lila's smile cracked. I hit play on a screen recording, footage from my security camera. Lila at the kitchen counter, taking my wallet. 2:04 a.m., same night, same card. The silence afterward was suffocating. My wife stared at her sister, then at me. Tears came, not because she didn't believe it, but because she finally did. "I won't call the police," I said. Lila looked up in relief. Too soon. "But the IRS might." You see, that account she drained, it's registered under her business name. All income, no taxes, no declarations. Looks a lot like embezzlement now. Her face went pale. The color drained faster than the money she stole. You wouldn't. I already did. The letter had gone out 2 hours before dinner. A full report, clean and legal, detailing every transaction and ownership trail. All factual, all public, no lies, just truth, sharpened into a blade. My wife left the table without a word. Lila sat frozen, trembling, the reality settling like dust after an explosion. I watched her walk out the door with nothing. No apology, no explanation, just the quiet collapse of entitlement. The investigation dragged on for weeks. Eventually, Lila fled the city. Her accounts were seized, her assets frozen, and the designer handbags auctioned by the state. My wife and I didn't talk much after that. Trust doesn't rebuild after fire. It either stands untouched or turns to ash. Ours turned to ash. She moved out a month later, left me a note that said, "You didn't have to destroy her." Maybe she was right. But destruction isn't always cruelty. Sometimes it's clarity. Now, months later, I still check my phone at night when it pings. Not because I'm paranoid, because I remember that sound, the quiet trigger that ended it all. That 2 a.m. theft wasn't just a betrayal. It was a confession I didn't have to pull from anyone's lips. She stole my card, but I stole her illusion of control. And between the two, mine was the cleaner crime.